All right, and we're getting ready to get the show started, folks. For some reason, my screen now, I am like out of my screenshot. For some reason, I'm going to move over just a little bit more, and yeah, that's probably good. It's good enough for me. Doing 10 things at the same time. Oh. And good morning, everybody. Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. I found out that you can only do a couple of things at the same time on the formats that I'm using right now. So today we're going to talk a little bit about networking, which is something I've been doing for, decades now. We're just been getting into to networking, which is really fun stuff. So we're going to do that today. So we'll talk a little bit about networking, and what looks like I've got some microphone issues here. That's fine. We will try to fix this also. There we go. Let's see if we can fix my microphone problem as far as my my podcast goes. So for those of you, this might be your first time joining us on Black Success Magazine. We want to welcome you. Some of you, this might be your first time even seeing me. I'm Sherman Ray. I'm the founder of Black Success Magazine. I'm the editor of it. The guy who you see, every so often. But we come to you Monday through Friday, 8:30 to about 9 o'clock or so. Got a little bit of a late start today, which is not a big deal, but because we really wanted to make sure we got the show up and running. And some of the things that we all were able to do on the show, and we've got some interesting stuff to tell you that's going to be happening hopefully in the next couple of weeks. We want to give you folks, especially if you're a business owner that really wants to, get your business more visibility. We want to talk to you a little bit more about, some of the things that we're doing with Black Success Magazine. And hang on one second here, folks, because something happened with my. I've got a technical difficulty here with my podcast, and I really want to make sure that happens because one of the things we do is we podcast pretty much every day, and if you don't get your podcast right, this could get ugly really quickly. And so I want to make sure that the podcast is up and that it's running, and hopefully that the sound quality is well enough. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, which is Thursday, we're going to have Robbie Thomas will be on. Robbie came on to the show last week, and we talked about Bitcoin, talked about cryptocurrency. Wildly successful show. A lot of people really loved that show. And so we've invited Robbie back on. I was just talking to him yesterday. Robbie is also he's the chairman of the Black Business Chamber of Commerce, been in banking for, decades, that kind of thing. And so we've invited Robbie back on the show to be a part of the show tomorrow. We'll talk more about cryptocurrency. We'll talk about blockchain, that kind of stuff. Stuff that I know you as a business owner really need to know. And so we'll talk about that. But today we're going to talk about networking and how important it is that you get out there and network. So let me give you a little background on how much I know about networking. When I first started my first networking group, as far as a group of people, bringing them together, one of the things that I found that I was really good at was connecting people and getting people together. And not only that, but just calling people up and saying, hey, would you be a part of what we're doing? And and I found that, people thought, Sherman, you're just doing some crazy things there. And how can you get these people? I've had Simon Bailey. So some of you who know who Simon T. Bailey is, Simon T. Bailey is out of Florida. I got on the phone. I saw him. He was one of my Facebook friends, and I knew that he was a speaker. I knew he had something compelling, a compelling story to tell. So I contacted him. I said, "Hey, Simon. Hey, I'm here in Vegas. Would you mind, speaking in front of our group?" And he said to me, he said, "Sure." He goes, "Isn't that funny? I will be in Las Vegas next week." Hey, great. And so Simon came out and spoke to our group. I did not realize it at the time how significant he was, or is, and continues to be. But there was no, it was the secret to that, and the secret to all the things I've been. We're going to talk about that today on how to get these people, how to talk to these people, and why that how you can get this. Also, there's another friend of mine. His name is Tim Sanders. Tim Sanders, very funny story. I'll tell you a real quick story before we get into. We'll do 11 tips on business networking. Okay, 11 tips on business networking. Tim Sanders came into my business. I had a restaurant, and Tim came into my shop, and he just happened to be walking through. I don't know why he's walking through. He's in Las Vegas. He's walking through. He sees a row of books on my shelf, similar to this right here, but much bigger. And he goes, "Oh my gosh, you're a success guy. You're in a knowledge and you're reading a lot." And I go, "Yeah, as a matter of fact, I am." And he says, "Well, I've written a couple of books." And I went, "Really?" Oh, I had no idea who he was. I had no idea. It's pretty amazing. I had no idea who Tim Sanders was. So he said, "Okay." And he said, "Maybe I'll drop off one of my books for you." I said, "Well, okay, fine. That's great." Now, being in the restaurant trade and being, a part of the business community, you get a lot of people who come in and say, "Hey, I'm doing this or I'm doing that." And you kind of go, "Yeah, sure, sure, sure." You're never rude to anybody because you never want to be rude to anybody, ever. But you do get a lot of people, and so you have to kind of, just be very polite to everybody. And so, so Tim left, and I went in the back, and I told my wife, I go, "Hey, there was this guy here." She looked him up. She Googled him and found out, oh my gosh, Tim Sanders, for those of you who don't know who Tim Sanders is, used to be one of the coaches, one of the execs over at Yahoo. I've got one of his books in front of me right now. It's called Today We Are Rich. Another book that he wrote that I've read already. Today We Are Rich is just an awesome book. So I encourage you to get that book. But Tim, had no idea who he was. And so when he came back in, he actually did come back in. He came back in like 2 days later. He forgot his sunglasses on my bookshelf. I had no idea. He goes, "Oh, I forgot my." That's how we became friends. We became friends through just a chance meeting, but we'll talk about a little bit more about that on how to network with people, because Tim is still my friend to this day. Hopefully we'll get him on the show at some point, and we'll talk more about networking on that level. So let's talk about networking for you and your business, and how this can benefit you. The bottom line for you as a business owner is, if you do not network, if you do not learn this skill, it is going to make it very tough for you to be in business and to stay in business. This is important. I've seen many business owners who have created great products. They've got great service. They've got a great accoutrement, okay, which means their surroundings look great, and they're terrible networkers, which means nobody's ever going to hear about your product or your service, okay? So this is akin to being a great communicator. I've seen a lot of people, many people, great product, great service, great program that they've set up, and yet they have terrible communication skills. That's why I'm in Toastmasters, because Toastmasters, or organizations like that where you're speaking a lot, help you communicate what is in your head. If you can't communicate what's in your head, it's very tough. You stutter. The only person I know of who that has been very effective in business, in creating revenue streams, Elon Musk, who is a terrible communicator, Richard Branson, who is dyslexic and he's just a terrible communicator too. But those two guys in particular, and there's many, many more, but just off the top of my head, communication, networking are at the basis of you being able to, get your product or service out there and being very successful. So let's talk about some tips on networking for success. Number one, attend business networking events. Okay, I think that's basic. You need to attend those. If they're out there, you've got a business, you've got a product, you've got a service, you've got a new whiz-wang, whatever it is. If look for those opportunities to get out there and talk about your product. In Las Vegas, we have tons of them. Even during COVID, there are networking events that are going on virtually all over the place. I'm always amazed that people don't attend these events. And then they wonder why they can't get their product or their service and they can't get any traction. Well, it's because nobody knows you're there. So attend business networking events, especially professional ones, professional business network, not just any old event, okay? Ones that are really promised to have the right kind of people at those events. That's where you want to be at. Number two, choose a goal, okay? Why are you doing, when you're going to these networking events, why are you going to networking events? Oh, let me do this. I got to back up because a lot of people may not know what a networking event is. Somebody has an organization. They say, I want to gather a bunch of business owners together and we want them to pass out business cards. We want them to meet. It could be a speed networking event. It could be, a themed networking event where the purpose of the event is to bring business owners together so they can rub elbows and they can, at the business chamber, which I'm a part of, the Black Business Chamber in Las Vegas, we have these events and the people who go there, we do it for a reason. We don't do it just so we can hang out and drink beer, even though sometimes it's kind of nice to hang out and just drink beer. But the reason for the event are for people to get together. Same thing with what we're doing here today, and we drive it out to our networking group, is that we do it so that people can come together and they can see each other. And, the more people see you, the better off you are. So number two, choose a goal. What is the goal of you doing it? Why are you going to the event? Okay. Do you want to, is the reason you're going to the event to donate your time? Is it there to volunteer? Is it to make connections? Are you there to find out what's the latest and the greatest of, happening in your industry? There's got to be a reason. So choose a goal that you're doing to go to your event. Okay. Number three, get social in your off hours. Okay, this one's a tough one too. Just because you're off the clock doesn't mean it's time to stop networking. In business, I just don't know if there's a time when you're actually off the clock. I don't know if there is a time when I'm off the clock. So just because you're off the clock, you're not in your 9 to 5, or you're, and in my case, it's like 8 to 8. It doesn't mean you stop networking. If you want to expand your reach, make an effort to chat with attendees at your health club, your Pilates class. You can even make a business connection at your child's school activities. So wherever you go, you're always making connections. My brother-in-law, who is I love my brother-in-law. His name is Chip, and Chip, even though he gave me a call a couple days ago, and because closed my restaurant, and I'm doing a lot of things still. We're still in the close up phase of it. My brother-in-law is still thinking about my needs, and he's still networking as he's going from place to place. And he gave me a call and he said, "Hey, Sherm, I was talking to the owner of this particular restaurant, and there's a business opportunity here for you." And I went, "Oh my gosh, Chip, thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that." Even when we're out riding bikes, you know, when you're, even though you're in your off hours, we're not saying that you're doing, like multi-level marketing where you're always trying to recruit people to be a part of your team or something like that. But there is no problem with you always dropping hints. Hey, let me find out what's going on, because you never know what's going to happen. Number 4, know your worth. Let me check the time because I want to make sure we leave ourselves plenty of time. It's not enough to provide your client with great product or a great service. If you can't articulate it is you, if you can't articulate what it is you do, then you can't hope to convey that information at networking events. Whether your goal is to generate referrals or simply build your virtual Rolodex for the future, you should take time to generate an elevator pitch that conveys what you do, for whom you do it, and why customers should choose you over your competition. So we're going to do this. We're going to do an elevator speech tape one of these days, which is probably one of the most important things other than your business card. Okay, your business card should say, "Hey, I'm this person, I'm that person," and yet people don't do business with business cards. They do it with people that they've seen before, people who they know, they like, and they trust. People don't hire you because of your resume. They hire you because of the sense that they get about you when you speak to them. So it's important that you develop an elevator speech that really conveys who you are, what you do, and how and why you're much better than your competition. The interesting thing about it is that you should be able to do that within 2 minutes. People don't really like to you belaboring or fire hosing them about all the great things that your company. Nobody needs to hear everything that you're doing. Okay, they need to get a general sense of who you are and whether or not they like you at all. Because if they don't like you, they don't care about what you sell. So some of the most successful people in the world have a very succinct elevator speech. And they say, "Hey, my name is this. I do this. This is our product. And this is why we're much better than the competition." Literally lasts a minute. And people go, "Wow, yeah, I like you. I like your style. I like the way you dress. I like the way you speak, especially the way you speak. Because if you come off as a untrustworthy, 'What's up, man? What's up? What's up?' You know what I'm saying? Or if you use a lot of colloquialisms, okay, which many of us we're used to because we feel like that's we're being real, okay. But in the business world, people really want to speak with somebody who can represent their company or their association with them on a higher level. So know your worth, know who you are, develop an elevator speech. Let's go on to number 5. Checking my time, always checking my time. Identify conversational icebreakers. When you're speaking to somebody, this is really interesting. Business, in a sense, is a lot like counseling. And you're always looking for information as you're speaking with people. Or you're looking at them and you're kind of eyeing them up and down. And you're looking for ways to break the ice as you speak to them. It's tough enough to just go cold up to somebody and say, "Hi, my name is," and you've got your badge, you've got your card. And it's hard enough to just go ahead and cold walk up to somebody and speak to them. So look for icebreakers. Oh my gosh. Or it could be an icebreaker in the room. It could be, "Oh gosh, the sun, boy, did you notice the sun has been great in this place?" Or "The sun is great outside. Are you a runner?" "No, me neither." something to get to open, because it's very awkward. So you want to break that awkwardness as you speak to somebody. If you want to overcome initial awkwardness and make a good first impression, consider opening with a compliment. Hey, nice jacket you got there. I've seen, and not just to say, hey, you've got a great jacket so that you can get close to the person, genuine, being genuine to somebody. Like their shoes, especially women they love being complimented on their shoes. And some of these women have some great looking shoes. If you've seen the new cover of our podcast, you notice that the shoes on the cover now are sharp. Those are sharp shoes. I picked those because they are sharp looking shoes, and that's just me. So look for things like that. Look for icebreakers that you can do that can help people drop their guard a little bit in those networking events. Let's go to number 6. Might consider bringing a buddy. Bring somebody with you to the event so that you're not feeling like you're all alone. It's tough. I'm going to tell you right now, it is very tough to go to a networking event or to go to any place where you've never been before, and you don't have a sense of familiarity in that place. You might consider bringing a buddy with you. Number 7, overcome your introversion. If you're an introvert, and many of us are, I tend to be an introvert. I know it just doesn't seem that way, but I have had to work at not being an introvert. I am just as happy being by myself all the time. All the time. I really am. If I could, I can go both ways. Okay. I can be very alone by myself for hours, days, weeks, months, years, or I can be in the middle of a crowd and be very, very comfortable. You need to be able to get over that. Get over that being introverted, at least for that event. Create an alter ego. Somebody who is a genuine person. I mean, it's the genuine side of you that people just don't see all the time. You're there to make connections with people. And so you've got to get over that awkwardness, that introvert. Instead of thinking about yourself so much, because that's generally what introverts do, is they think about themselves so much that they're always thinking about who's looking at me, who's looking. Don't think about that. Think about the person you want to meet in this room, the connections you want to make, the number of connections you want to make in the room. So you have to get over that being an introvert. Number 8, find a reason to follow up. Making connections is only half of the battle when you are networking with people. You also have to take steps to keep the relationship going. Even if you aren't currently job hunting, strive to reach out to your contacts a few times a year to follow up. Even if you're not selling something currently, or that person said no, you want to continue to connect with them. Hey, you know what? I know you said you didn't want this, or you didn't right now. How about if I give you a call in 3 months or so? Fantastic. I'd love to. Or, you know what? We're having an event. I'd like to be able to invite you to events down the road. Would you mind doing that? Fantastic. Make an excuse. Find a reason to connect with people on an ongoing basis. There's in most people's lives, let's say on Facebook, if you have 5,000 friends, the most of those people, the maximum amount of people that you will probably connect with on a constant basis, who will do business with you, who will speak to you, is probably less than 50 of 5,000 people. Of those 50 people, that number even dwindles down to people you're probably going to do business with if you're going to do business. So it's important that you keep up with those people, especially people who are they say, hey, I'm going to do business with you for a long period of time. Those people, those are the kind of relationships you want. There are friends that are going to be continual. I've got friends that known my entire life. I mean, my entire life, and I'm still connected with them. Those are relationships you want to continue to foster. So if we're just talking about, not just talking about business, but just in networking with friends, continue to reach out to those people. They're on every holiday. So, and there's probably, there's a holiday every week, it seems like, in America. I reach out to my friends, especially a lot of my guy friends. I reach out to them a lot. I write saying, "Hey, how's it going?" Just, and some of you probably just got something from me just recently. And the reason for that is I want to stay connected with you. Okay, I'm not just doing it just because I just want to send out notes. I want to connect with you all the time. So if you get something from me, it's because I want to stay in relationship with you. I'm not trying to sell you something. I want to be in relationship. I rarely sell to anybody because I don't. I've just never been able to. I remember I had a networking group. We ran it for 5 years, and we're running out of time. But in that networking group, after in 5 years, and we had over 200 people in that networking group, we probably did deals a total of, in 5 years, probably 4 times in the entire time that we had that networking group. I wasn't there to sell to people. I was there to create relationships with people. I was there to teach. I was there to build relationships with people, and those relationships, some of those relationships are still to this day. Not every relationship that you're in is going to produce monetary, value, but it will. Hopefully, the ones that you do develop are going to be relationship ones that can, and they might feed the bottom line, which is money. They might be able to talk to you. My brother-in-law Chip. Once again, I love my brother-in-law Chip. Even if he did nothing for me ever in life, he's just a great guy. Love hanging out with him. Love riding bikes with him, talking smack. And those are relations. But every once in a while, Chip will say, "Hey, Sherman needs something," and I know he does because he knows me well enough, and he gives me a call, and I go, "Gosh, Chip, thank you so much," and we just have a great time together. Let's go on to the next one. So the number 8 was find a reason to follow up. Number 9, don't be negative. Okay. Folks, this is paramount in networking. When you're networking with friends, family, business associates, if you think of something negative, just destroy it in your mind. Don't say it. Just don't say it. There's nothing worse than for you to go to a networking event, and I've been to many of them, where somebody goes, rah, 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 rah. No, don't do that. Okay? You will be very alone. And people will, once again, they want to know, they want to like you. And nobody likes negative people. Okay, so we're not going to even talk about that anymore. Put on your positive hat. Okay, everything's great. Even if something bad happened to you, don't talk about it. Nobody wants to hear about negative. They're there to be positive. This is why I love, and we're probably going to have to end on this just because time is running out. Okay, yeah. I love being a part of some multi-level marketing companies, not because of the business platform or the business plan that they're doing. It's because of the nature of being around those types of people. Those types of people are very positive. They're very rah-rah. They're always high energy. The music they're always playing is always woo-hoo, gonna have a good time. You did the rockin'. Love that stuff because it is just so high energy, rah stuff. In networking, that's the way you want to be. You want to be the high energy guy. You want to be like, I'm ready to take on the world because we're in sales. You're in sales. There's nothing worse than you're going up to a sales guy and him going, lost every job and I lost every sale and life sucks and politics and, wife and kids. And you go, oh, dear Lord. But nothing worse than that. See, you're probably feeling that way right now, right? You got to break that. Don't want to bring that to a party. Okay. Don't bring negative to a party. Don't be selfish. Okay. All right, I'll give you one more bonus one before we leave. Don't be selfish. It's not just about you. When you're talking about something, you've done your elevator speech, it's a give and take thing. Okay. It's a give and take thing when you're networking with people. Yes, you want them to hear about you, but you definitely want to hear about them. Okay. You want to hear a lot about them, as a matter of fact. Okay. Because that's really the more information you get from another person is more information that you can help you either find them where they want to go or help you to find out where you want to go. Okay. So don't be selfish. Okay. Anyways, we're done. We're going to have to stop. This once again, our magazine, for those of you who may have never heard about Black Success Magazine, magazine's coming out in, just a little over a week. So we're very excited about that. You can get a digital copy of our magazine, or you can be an advertiser in our magazine. All you've got to do is write to us at info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. That's info@blacksuccessmagazine.com. And you can get a copy of the magazine, or you can be an advertiser in our magazine. And the digital copy of the magazine is free, so you can be a part of that. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, folks. And then tomorrow, Robbie Thomas is going to be on the show, and Robbie's going to be talking more about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, that kind of stuff. So you can definitely check that out. It's been Sherman Ray, Black Success Magazine, the podcast. We are now on Apple Podcasts, so just say to your Alexa, say, Alexa, want to hear Black Success Magazine, the podcast? Will come up on iTunes, and you'll be able to hear our back issues. So this has been Sherman Ray. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.